So, like, hello and welcome. Once you get out into the real world, time flies a lot faster than how it was in high school. And this is exactly what today's movie discussion is all about. Today we're going to talk about Romy and Michele's high school reunion. I'm exposed, and it's no big surprise. Don't you think I know exactly where I stand? This world is forcing me to hold your hand. Romy and Michele's high school reunion was released in 1997, and it's a total 80s and 90s film all together, because we have the past of the 80s but the present of the 90s, and it's just a lot of fun. It was released by Touchstone Pictures, and it stars Mira Sorvino, who also dated Quentin Tarantino, who we previously talked about, as well as Lisa Kudrow, who we best know from Phoebe as Friends. Smelly cat, what are they feeding you? Everybody! Smelly cat, it's not your fault. Janine Garofalo, and of course one of my favorite people, Alan Cumming, is back in this movie. I love him so much, he's so adorable.
Yes, I got it, I love it. You look 30, you look 30.
I wasn't fishing.
No, you weren't fishing.
I was.
But then we also have Elaine Hendricks, who we just talked about as Meredith in The Parent Trap, so it was really cool to see her in other roles.
I made them in home ec from their own patterns. Actually, I think they're semi-interesting. In a freakish, off-putting sort of way, never mind.
This was based off of a stage play called Ladies' Room that Lisa Kudrow was also part of, and that was written by Robin Schaft, probably butchering that name, and it's honestly one of the most realistic, relatable plot lines you could ever think of. Romy and Michele are best friends. They've been best friends since high school, and it's their 10th year anniversary of high school that they've been out. They don't realize it. They think their lives are a lot more successful than they actually are, and it's all about their journey of trying to decide that they want to go back to the high school reunion. Also try to be impressive to the old classmates that would bully them.
Go to the reunion and just pretend to be successful. Oh my god.
They're the typical Valley girls. They're not that smart, but they are in different ways than others. They're really talented. Michele has the most amazing sewing skills and comes up with these amazing outfits. And Romy is just a lot of fun and seems really nice and has a little bit more business sense, but they're very similar to each other, and they really make excellent best friends. And even though they play on the dumb girl, Valley girl stereotype, they're not. And that makes it a lot fun, and that makes it really interesting.
We were such abject idiots, but then, you know, there was a lot of love between us, but we were so self-assured that we were like smart, and we were just so dumb.
It's very unique, it's very different, but it's so realistic, especially because unfortunately I'm also coming up to almost being 10 years out of high school, and it's very scary to think about. And I know how many other people must feel that, and it's something that we all relate to and something that we all go through. And I love this movie so much because it takes the stereotypes but also makes it really unique and very interesting, and shows that life after high school isn't that big a deal. High school was never a big deal, and that everyone that peaked in high school doesn't have a life now.
You're just jealous. Because unlike a certain ball-busting, dried-up career woman I might mention, we're all happily married.
That's right, Christy. Keep telling yourself that.
And that's something I think about a lot. High school as a whole has so much pressure put onto it. It's the best 4 years of your life. You have to do so well so you can get to college and you can make a life for yourself. It's 4 years of your life. You live between 80 to 90 years, sometimes 100 years. But 4 years is supposed to make your life or break your life. And I've always hated that idea and stereotype, because my high school experience was okay. It wasn't special, it was okay. I just kind of floated along. It wasn't exciting, but it wasn't terrible.
I was a nerd in high school. That's why I did this movie. I was such a geek. They called me Mira Queera, and the only boys that liked me were the Dungeons and Dragons guys. But I mean, I was miserable in high school, absolutely miserable.
And everyone's so young, everyone's still finding themselves, and you really can't justify who you are as a human being during that time. And we've covered a lot of high school movies, majority of them really unrealistic high school movies. So I really love being able to take a look and seeing these realistic films that tackle the same issues and are kind of anti-high school movies that I really appreciate. And this one is definitely one of the best ones I've seen. And it's weird, it's wacky. We have a lot of fantasy scenes in there. We have a very unique dance scene at the end. It's definitely something that you need to check out because it's so different, it's so brilliant, and it's able to take a look at the past and the present back then, which is now the past, but it still is so fresh and relatable and timeless. This might be one of the best Touchstone pictures that I've seen when it comes to comedy. Tomorrow we're going to take a look at one of the worst Touchstone pictures that might be when it comes to comedy with Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo. So you can stay tuned, and as always, I hope you have a magical day, and I will see you real soon.